watermelon, and I'm gonna pick what's ripe. It's mid-October, but there's still stuff to pick. And I think I'm gonna make stew tomorrow, so I'm gonna pick tomatoes and peppers and whatever else is ripe, and I'll put some of those in that. I think it's gonna be stew, but if I get a lot of tomatoes that are ready, I'll go back to chili again. So I'll just pick this pepper while I'm here. Come on, it's ready. Something things can go wrong if you leave them outdoors. Okay. Let's start over here. Pick these little grape tomatoes. Okay. And all these other peppers are green in this area, so. And these tomatoes this is a volunteer tomato plant. It came up a long time ago, and it's winding down. All right, let's have some viewers. Chat and subscribe. Yeah, got a viewer. Hello, whoever you are. And I'm using my cellular data, so the picture should look pretty good. Okay, I think I got those. 4 viewers. Let's chat. Oop, there's some right here. Okay. Oh, there's a red one here. I can pick you. Come on. You know, didn't hurt anything. Let's see. And this pepper plant, well, it's wanting to bloom a little bit again, but it's good. Farrell family says hi. Hello, Farrell family. Where are you from? This is Sweetwater, Tennessee. 16 viewers. Got a good start. Out in the garden picking these little grape tomatoes. And they do add up. Viewers. Farrell family says, oh, Newport? Is that Virginia or somewhere else? Richie, I don't quite understand that. Oh, Richmond. Well, Newport Richie. It could be in that Virginia area. Big election coming up if that's where you're from. Oh boy, that's another story. Ooh, that's cool how this pepper is stuck its branch clear out here. Lots of peppers on it. These pepper plants are quite resilient. You don't have to tie them up much. They kind of hold themselves up. I'm looking for more tomatoes. I live in an apartment. I hope it's a good apartment, and I hope the rent is low, but I've heard about rent being bad. What is your favorite Van Halen song? Holy mackerel. Jamie's crying. Bum, bum. Dun, dun, dun. Jamie's crying. Mm-hmm. Are you picking peppers? Well, I'm picking peppers and tomatoes. These are giant Marconi peppers. Let's look over here. I'll pick that one. It's red at the bottom. It's kind of odd that it's ripening like that. And I'll get this one. There's one here. It's Van Halen. That's a nice one. Yes, my brother had a Van Halen. He drove me to school, and he had I think it was Van Halen 1, and he would play it in the car, and he would flip the tape over, but there was a couple times where he crashed into the ditch when he was flipping the tape over and hit the snow. It didn't hurt the car any, it just went off the road, and then we have to flag someone down to help us push the car out, so it was kind of annoying, but it was a good story. Let's see, what's this one? I'm looking for these. It's dragging on the ground, and I worry about it getting rotten where it's touching the ground. I think I got these peppers done in this tomato plant. Oh, I see a tomato. Here we go. Okay. This is my raised bed I made last spring. And I used logs, and I used limbs and more logs in the pit, and put soil and leaves and stuff on top, and now I got a pretty nice raised bed. And it grew quite a bit this year. It grew these peppers and some tomatoes, and I had sweet corn right here where I'm walking. And I'm gonna look through this bean vine. There ain't many here. And there's a little one there. That one's not ready. And it's kind of trying to bloom. Where's some blossoms? It's trying to bloom again. It had quite a few beans in the spring, and then it quit during the heat of the summer, and then I had a couple good pickings, and I still got a picking in the fridge where this week I'm probably going to make beans and potatoes, and I use bacon and onion, and I put butter on it when it's all done cooking, so it's really good. And these pods here I'm saving for seed, because these beans like to crawl, and they're very prolific. And there's only 2 plants to all this along the fence. There used to be maybe like 11, and the other ones died out, and was left with the ones that had a little bit more genetic strength to them, where they can climb sideways, and they don't quit. This is the 3rd year I grew these, and I certainly want to save some seed from them. Okay, here's some more tomatoes. Well, it's soft there. Yeah, this is going to settle a lot because of things rotting. And we'll see what I can do. Oh boy, this is really had the worm. That might be in something tomorrow. I'll just trim around the eating part. Yeah, I'll pick that because it's, oh, that's no good. And, well, 2 thumbs up. That's great. Sometimes picking peppers because we sometimes run out of food. Well, yes. I've been pretty much living off the garden for the last, since, gosh, March. Pretty much every day eating some garden. I would make a pot of chili that would last 5 or 6 days, and then I will eat potatoes and corn too. So I pretty much get 2 big meals. There's more grape tomatoes. Oh, well, that's a fresh one. I haven't sprayed these in a while, but it's hardly worth spraying. It's just, we're pretty much done for the year. Okay. There's a dried up one. Yep, it all works. Okay, more here. Yeah, these are about. Okay, there's a good bunch here. Oh, we have a can of food, but it's expired. Well, as long as it's not spoiled, food will be good. Canned food will be good for years and years after it's expired, but you got to be very judged. You open it up and you take a whiff of it, and if it don't smell right, you toss it. So I'm probably going to use some expired chicken in my yeah, that's going to be my stew tomorrow if I decide to do that. And I mean, especially if you put some canned stuff and you cook with it, it'll kill. If there happened to be a pathogen of some sort, it would kill that. Six, 5, good. Okay, someone answered again. Send a pick peppers. That's what we do. Okay. It's probably about the expired stuff. You just got to be careful. Um, there's certain things that I'm trying to think. Stuff that has a lot of acid in it, like tomato juice, it keeps a long time. I think things that got some acid, so that's a good pointer. Okay, did I get them all? On this side. I gotta go on the other side and pick over there, so. And here's this, oops, there I see another one. Here's another one. Okay, I found watermelon seeds. Oh, that's great. that's how this garden, my garden here, kind of started. About, I think it was 2016. Up there by the house, there was no garden, and a watermelon sprouted, and it grew really well with no attention. And I said, man, I'm thinking about gardening again, and I started kind of small. Now I got enough ground here to get plenty of garden. So good luck with the watermelon. 3 months ago. Uh, well, if you're in the northern hemisphere, having watermelons this time of year is, unless you're in Florida or parts of Texas, California, you might not have much luck with it. But or you're in the southern hemisphere or towards the equator, and that'll be fine. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna go around. I picked this raised bed first just to get it done, and I'll go to the main garden. 16 viewers. Florida, yeah. What part of Florida? Because that's different. I mean, the north part, you do lose that growing season about mid-November, and then once you get past Orlando and towards the Miami, you've got a real good long season, and that'd be cool to. But boy, you have to live through 10 months of heat. And here in Tennessee, we got it's mid-June till early October, so we got a long stretch of heat. And I'm from South Dakota, and it wouldn't get hot until mid-July, and then it would get cool again late August. And coming up and around. And the neighbor, well, all those are gone. She has a compost here, and the tomatoes sprouted in it, and she didn't care if I took these tomatoes. And these tomatoes seeded everywhere. There was a lot over there, and that was a rabbit pen. I think she just pulled them out. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. All right, go up to this volunteer tomato. Well, what the hell? Oh, that's where they went. Ah! I was trying to get these up off the ground, and one pulled off, but it was probably full sized. Ain't much left. I need to come over here and mow. I had the pumpkins and squash over here, the volunteer ones, and they crawled all over in this tall grass. And I need to mow it. And I looked at my pictures, and I think I mowed it a year ago, so I better get on this. And here's another tomato plant that was in a squash hill. There's none ripe there. And now to these ones that are in these steel post cages. And they're volunteer, and I moved them over. I took a shovel full of seedlings and just placed them down the ground, and well, that plant's nearly done, and they grew good. They look good. I just like the appearance of these tall tomatoes. I'm gonna put the bucket down and pick. Ooh, I didn't see. There's one here. Lots of it probably didn't get sprayed. I'll just leave it. It looks like it's not rotting yet. And here's another. This other plant's got a lot. I was too lazy to tie up to that top of that pole. Ooh. There's another. Well, it might be chilly again. I'm getting a lot of these wormy ones. That's got a rotten spot too. So I've been trying to, if I get this pail full of ripe ones, I got some in the house that are ready to cook. And if I add the ones out of this group to that, and if it's, 3/4 of a pail full, I'll just thaw out some hamburger and go with chili again. Oh boy, that must. I'll probably do a spraying tomorrow or even this evening. Now I got to go clear around. There's 17 viewers. That's great. Oh, bottom of Florida. Yeah, that's cool. You don't have to worry about snowdrifts. Let me look through these. These are potted tomatoes. There's a little ripish. And there ain't much left. There's some nice green ones there. Oh, here's a few. I ran out of room to put tomato plants, volunteer plants, and I have pots with soil in them, and I just put them in, and they did quite well. And this bucket tomato is coming back, but we're running out of time. Last year it froze on November 29th, and we had an extended growing season, and I ended up getting, especially the peppers, they kept growing until that point. So okay, I'll go on this side of this one. There's nothing there. That's ripe. Okay, there's this one here with medium-sized tomatoes. It's still putting out. It's looking nice. And this one here, it's still got some life to the vine. Okay, that one's gonna be that one's going in the stew or chili. Let's see. Oh boy, that's a tough decision. I'm gonna pick them because I think, yeah, they're just barely starting to turn, and the worms have been kind of bad so far. Okay, here we go on this one. That one's, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to make chili. So this one's all wilted. The plant died. Well, this one's got green on it yet. I'll leave them. Those are wilted, but they're green. They'll just kind of, they'll turn. They'll ripen on their own a little bit, but they'll get dry. Ooh, that was not even worth it. I'll pick it anyway. Let's see. And look at these marigolds. These are volunteer. If the marigolds are in between plants, I just let them go. and they look pretty this time of year. There's a bunch of them. Is this? Yeah, this was about shoulder high. It's kind of weighted down a little bit now. Let's see, that was another holy one. Okay, over here. Yeah, these are my main, the ones I planted indoors in January. And I think there was 14 plants. And some of them, I'm going to go this way. On this row next to me, there were beefsteak, and they didn't do particularly well because they got shaded out from each side. There was what are they? Celebration. They got real tall, and they took the morning sun. Then I had corn over here, and it took the afternoon sun. And what we got here? Man, the worms are really on it. That one's I'm gonna cook with it, because it's really starting to deteriorate. I'm almost picking what's left. I'm gonna spray tomorrow. Probably Captain Jack's. Captain Jack's. What is it again? I'll pick these here. What is it? I got two Captain Jacks. One is dead bug brew, and one's a Thuricide, and both of them they work relatively well with tomato worms, and they work really well with cabbage-like stuff. And I'll pick these first and then talk cabbage and bok choy and Napa. And these two tomatoes here, they came up in the corn rows, and I tied the tomatoes to the corn after the corn was gone. And then I had to bring over a couple sticks, and I buried them in the ground to support the tomatoes. And these done quite well. I'm glad I did it. Seven viewers. Often? Okay. It's about every 5 days. Yeah. And Feral Family says it's outside, it's hot. It's probably hot today. It's probably, that one's got juice coming. It's probably rotten. Well, I'll trim that one up. There might be a little left to use. Okay. And these are finishing out. Okay, let's go talk cabbage. Okay. Yeah, last year I planted cabbage in the midsummer, and I ended up getting cabbage heads in the fall, and then I think there was one in the fall, late fall, and then there was one on New Year's Day. We had cabbage on New Year's Day, and then was some in early March, and then April. So we had cabbage throughout the winter and early spring. And here, what happened to some of these, it's starting to come back, but a groundhog, that was a big problem throughout the year, and he's not a problem anymore because I caught him, and I hope that's the only one. I'll take this off. And I was putting these mesh panels on some of the stuff to keep the. Now these, there's 3 plants there, and those are going to be fine unless we have another. And this plant here, it's going to have a bunch of little cabbage. So I don't know. It may or may not do much. Let's see. This is bok choy, and we've been using it in hot pot. And this is and it's not, this bok choy is not an optimal shape. It should bunch. Maybe I've seen them where they tie them up, but I think it's kind of late to do that. But this one's probably going to be pretty good to eat. And here is Napa cabbage, but the Napas, instead of making a head, they decided to flower or bolt. But I've been taking the leaves and I've been using them in the hot pot. And if you get that with some seasoning, and I like it with pork, strips of pork, they're cut like bacon, but it's raw pork, and that's just so yummy. It just happens to be so yummy. And here is some broccoli rabe that Nana had seed, and this is the first time it's been a decent success. And I already harvested some for her, and she hasn't eaten it yet. She better eat it or it's going to go bad. And well, there's the opening to the trap, and there's asparagus right there. I planted asparagus. The little ones I planted this year, I think there's 4. Yeah, there's 4 plants left, and there's these other large ones they're older asparagus. So I want to get a lot more asparagus in that area. Keep planting seed. And here's another Napa. All these Napas are gonna not make heads. So next spring they may do different. I don't know. Got 8 viewers. Oh, when do I plant? I plant cabbage. Yeah, in the springtime I start them indoors. And I think last year I started some New Year's Eve. And then I get them out here in March. And cabbages could take frost. So you won't have to worry about a light frost with cabbage if you bring them out too early. And here's, well, I moved the, I left the pail back there. Oh, there's some worms here. And all these that got wormholes, nearly all of them are gonna have to be cut up tomorrow. And now this here is a this is a beefsteak tomato, and it did a lot better than the others. I think it's because it's at the end of the row and it caught more sun. There's a good number of them. There's a good number left on it. And here's some more cabbage. And I sprayed the other day, and I don't see any more damage. I kind of let it go too long, and like at 2 days, they got chewed up a lot. And I put an end to that. Here's some more tomatoes. This is off of a volunteer plant, and I think they're purple Cherokee. Okay, look around, look around. Ain't much left, but they do add up. You got a lot of tomato plants, they certainly add up. and I froze 9 gallon Ziplocs, which I just cut I like cut them in half, and the larger tomatoes, and I just froze. I got 9 gallon Ziplocs of tomatoes froze, so I can eat through the winter. Have soup or have probably mostly chili, but I can use them in a stew too. So I think I got these. Yeah, and I put cages on these to keep that groundhog out, and I'm gonna wait maybe another week and see if I see one out in the yard, or I see damage. I'm gonna have to keep on trying to trap them, but I have a pretty good feeling I might have got the lone one. Last year I trapped 5 or 4, and the one I trapped this year he's living under there now. He'll probably be corn and tomatoes next spring. I'll turn him something good instead of eating my veggies. That one's got juice coming out of it. Come on. Oh my God. The worms went to town on that one. And this plant here was a volunteer in the onion row, and I'm using the marigold to support it. And there's getting a few. Okay, there's a plant here. There's a tomato, a volunteer plant. They do add up, and that might be the last one on it. And I don't think I even watered that one, maybe one time. And it grew a few. It came up late. Mid-July, I think, and gave me a few tomatoes. And here's my water barrels. I get that off the roof. Ooh, this sucks. That can't be. No, it's just the way it looks. It's probably. I don't think it should have a lack of water, because it gets a lot of water from the roof. It's just the way it is. And here's my sage plant. I use that in the chili and stuff. Get about 6 leaves, put it in the processor, and okay. This stuff here is nightshade berries. The leaves have all fallen off. I'm going to take the hand trimmers and clip them to the ground. There's another cabbage, Napa, more Napa. There's Napa that's blooming. I'm going to save some of that seed. Okay, what the hell? No, these are okay. There's some bok choy, cabbage. Those look like they need some water. It rained 1.5 inches. A couple weeks ago, and it's cool, so I would think it'd have enough moisture to grow good. But it's supposed to rain like Friday-ish. And here's my 7th corn, but it didn't do very good. I think I got these. I don't know if that one even got pollinated. I didn't catch it. But I think I got 3 little ears growing. Maybe enough for a hot pot serving, I don't know. Here's some more bok choy. That one's had its leaves ate, but it hasn't. I sprayed the other day and I don't see any more damage. I'll spray them tomorrow again. Look at the leaves. Leaves are blowing off the tree. 5 viewers, 3 thumbs up. What do you do for bugs? Oh, yeah. Is that over here? No. I use Captain Jack's. There's several products. One's the Thuricide, and one's the Dead Bug Brew. The Dead Bug Brew, I think, is probably a good choice. And you can harvest the next day with that stuff. But I also use, if they're really bad, well, on corn, on earworm, I have to use, I think, a home defense. It's mainly it's an indoor-outdoor spray, but it does a good job on earworms if I spray at the right time. And I'll go on this cherry tomato, a volunteer. Got a lot of ripe ones on it. It's given me a lot of tomatoes. Yeah, I'll get that one too. Like and subscribe. Oh, a tomato fell on the other side of the fence. I'm gonna hopefully I remember to. Maybe someone will remind me before I quit. Will you please pick up that tomato that fell? "42 minutes. I'm gonna go over an hour pretty easily. Oh gosh, there's just. I'll move my pail. Good number. This plant did well early in the summer, and then it kind of quit, and then it started blooming again, and now they're getting ripe. Ah, did I drop one? I don't know. I have to look. I'll look on the ground over there. And there's one bug, a little worm. There's some worm damage on these. I think I'm leaning towards chili again. I got carrots to use up, but carrots keep relatively well for 6 to 9 months. I've used I probably used a fourth of my carrots already, and I need to get going on them. But if you get too much tomato juice, the tomato juice will fill the pot, and it can't put much for potatoes and onions and other stuff. So, okay, we don't fall. I'm gonna look on the ground here. No, I don't think I dropped one. Okay, now after I pick these, there's going to be, there's a group here, and there's a group here. But I picked a lot off of that. Okay. And here's another volunteer. Both of these two here were planted where the cabbages died in the spring. A couple cabbages died, and I just filled out the area with volunteer tomatoes, and that's what's left. Okay, I got that. I'll go over here in this tangled mess. Okay, no more chats. I hope I get a few subscribers again. Okay. Okay. I'll pick. What is that? Oh, the worm in that. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to pick this green one. It's on a dead vine. And it's got a worm in it. I'll probably have to put that in the pot. Okay. Looking at these peppers. Looking for... If they're orange, I'll pick them. They'll turn red after a while, but I've had trouble with them rotting. Now, what's this? I'll pick that too. These tomatoes have died pretty much. And I'll pick the tomatoes that are close. Okay, here's an orange one. Ew. That's a rotten one. Will you please? Yeah, I'm disappointed in these guys. See, I might get a little piece off of that when I trim it tomorrow. Yeah, here's a tomato hiding. Is there? I think I got them tomatoes there. This plant's, that's the end of your season, end of yours. Okay. And look around. Well, there's a good number on this plant. Just more peppers. And I'm walking through the purple sweet potato vines. I just kept throwing them back, and I just gave up. And they're climbing through these the pepper row and the tomato row. That looks nice. This plant here, it kind of died back, but there was a lot of buds at the top, and now I got peppers. I think I had a bug problem that was slowing them down, and I killed them off. And here's another pepper. This is that big plant. It took a long time to produce, and now it's got a lot of peppers. It said bell peppers when I bought them. They're not shaped like bell pepper, but they're a sweet pepper. So, and they're smallish. Yeah, here's a throw that down. Oh, that broke. There's no peppers on. I didn't hurt anything. There's no peppers or blossoms, nothing. Okay. Looked like the peppers were on this side of the plant. Okay, I'm gonna look at this yellow tomato. Oh hell. I'm gonna leave. I'll pick that. Holes. I don't think I'm gonna. Oh my gosh. There's wormholes all through that. Here's a tomato. I'll pick that just to avoid the worms. They're probably full-sized. And it's got wormholes in it anyway. So if you miss a spraying or two, the worms will get you. Okay. What is that? That could be a sunflower. That's a sunflower. I grew sunflowers and they were a complete failure, but there's some seeds that survived, and I think one shelled out and it's growing. It is not going to do anything because we're towards winter. Take it inside. I don't know. I could take it inside for the winter, but I'm not. I'm not really feeling that scenario right now. Okay. Let's see. I'll take a picture of that and come back. No more chats. We still got viewers. Okay, we're good. 4 viewers. Boy, I bet I bored them to death going through this. But I froze 4 quarts of Ziploc bags of peppers this week. So I was getting so many peppers that I could, and I was using a lot of them. I would use a good 5 or 6 in a chili pot or a stew pot every 5 days, and I was kind of keeping up. And then I ended up with a couple big bags, and I cut them up and took the seeds out and froze them. And right here this is my 6th corn. It's already been picked. I still got, and there may be a kernel or 2 in these last ears. I took the pollen from that other 7th planting and I brought some over. And I thought there was one here. And the groundhog got in the yard, and I think he crawled under this fence, and I put the trap there, and by some miracle he crawled back in and I got him. So he's gone, and I got it set for a possible another one if there's one around. I've had very good success trapping them under a fence. So I'm feeling pretty good about, and he ate, there's a cabbage that he ate, but I had to put the trap there. So I'll keep this trap here probably most of the winter until it gets cold weather. And let's see, these cabbages he trimmed a little, but he didn't hurt it. And this one here is fine because he didn't eat the center of it out, so it's recovering. But this cabbage here, he ate I can see there's some little buds starting to grow, and I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if it'll probably put small cabbage over the winter. May get some small cabbages out of it probably into next spring. And if we get some real cold nights in the mid-teens and lower, I'm going to have to put leaves and rags on top of these cabbages. I did last year, and I pulled them through the winter, and I got cabbages in numerous places. So I'm going to have to get all the leaves and stuff and get them piled up around the cabbages, and then when it gets cold, I'll just cover them. I'll put cloth. I'll put, first I do what I do is I put tarps on the cabbages, and then I add some rags, and then I add leaves, and I give them a good insulation. And I think I did it a good 4 or 5 times, maybe three-ish times. And sometimes those cabbages would be covered for a week or so because it'd be a long cold stretch. So now that the groundhog's gone, I feel a little bit better about maybe having some cabbage this winter and next spring. All right. I'll get over here and sign out. Oop, there's a tomato on this one lone plant. And what do you know? No wormholes. Okay. All right. I'll flip around. And in the October sky. There was a movie called October Sky. It was filmed in I think the West Virginia area. And these kids would make rockets, part of the space program. So October Sky, good movie to watch. And I'm gonna go in the house, and it's almost time for my chili. I got chili left from, what was it, last Thursday I made? So thanks for watching in Jim Miller's Garden. See you maybe in a little bit, week or two, if there's anything I'm picking or looking at. Thanks for watching. Oops, okay.